cinquain poem, I'm talking about how do we put together a cinquain poem? What are the parts of the poem? How is it ordered? How do we put it together? Now, when I say we're going to talk about a poem, what's the first word that pops into your mind when I say the word poem? First word. Lynn. Rhyming words. First word, Sam.
Objects, subjects.
Okay, he thinks poems, objects, subjects. We've got rhyming, objects, subjects. Caleb, what do you think of?
Like rhyming words or something like that.
Rhyming words. Another.
Lots of voice.
Lots of voice. Good. As we went around the room, I hear two of you saying rhyming words. And let's face it, most of us think about poems and we think about rhymes. When you were in kindergarten, you learned hickory dickory dock. The mouse went up the Just the other day in math, we learned 8 and 8 went to the store to buy 64. Those are nice little rhymes, and we think of that for poems. But a cinquain poem is very different than poems you may have heard because it doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme. Let's take a look at an example.
It's coming.
Oh, good. All right, Mackenzie, would you turn the lights off for us so we can take a look? In front of us, we have our first cinquain poem, and I hope you don't get too hungry looking at my slide with me. In order to read our poem, I'd like to do some choral reading, which means I'll read the first line, and then you'll be my echo, so that you do the same line I did. Watch my hand as we go. Ready? Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Messy, spicy.
Messy, spicy.
Slurping, sliding, falling.
Slurping, sliding, falling.
Between my plate and mouth.
Between my plate and mouth.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Excellent job. On our first read-through, you probably noticed that the words at the ends of the lines, they don't rhyme. They don't rhyme, and they don't have to. But we want to find out something else about our poem. This time, I'm going to add some claps. You'll do the same thing, echoing. And boys, if you could sit down, please, so that everyone sees. Ready? Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Messy, spicy.
Messy, spicy.
Slurping, sliding, falling.
Slurping, sliding, falling.
Between my plate and mouth.
Between my plate and mouth.
Delicious.
Delicious.
All right. As we clapped our hands, you just showed me that this poem has some rhythm to it. It has a beat to it. But it doesn't have rhyming words.
Tyler Monroe, Dallas Swagger, the main office. Tyler Monroe, Dallas Swagger, the main office. Jackson Sharpetta, Trayvon Williams, and Ricky Adams to the main office. Thank you.
All right. We've looked at our first poem. We see that it doesn't really rhyme, but it still has that rhythm. Let's look at another example. Wow. I thought this might get a few smiles. To read this poem, we'll do it the same way. Mules.
Mule.
Stubborn, unmoving.
Stubborn, unmoving.
Brain, kicking, resisting.
Brain, kicking, resisting.
Not wanting to listen.
Not wanting to listen.
People.
People.
I like this poem. Let's do it again with claps. Mules.
Mule.
Stubborn, unmoving.
Stubborn, unmoving.
Brain, kicking, resisting.
Brain, kicking, resisting.
Not wanting to listen.
Not wanting to listen.
People.
People.
Nice job. As we looked at this poem, does anybody want to tell me why do you think they ended it with people? Why do you think they ended it with people, Josh? Because why?
Because they don't listen to people.
Oh, because they don't listen to people. Let's keep on with that idea. Let me go toward the back. Landon? Forgot what you said. That's okay. That happens to me too. Haley, what do you think?
Maybe it's because they don't listen to the other people.
Oh, she thinks maybe a mule might be mean to some other people. Sam?
Maybe some of the people don't like mules.
Okay, you guys are on the right track. Have you ever heard the phrase, stubborn as a mule?
Yes.
once you were stubborn or brain kicking and resisting. Maybe you didn't want to listen. Those words could describe people or mules. All right. I like this poem, but again, today's focus is to really look at how the poem's put together, the format, the order. So to do that, I'd like to put both poems up side by side. Bradley, can you see the words from back there? Good. I'm going to draw a line down between the two poems so you can clearly see. Here's the spaghetti poem, and here's the mules poem. Okay? We're going to do something today where we look for things that are the same between the two poems. When we look for things that are the same between two things, what are we doing? What's that word? What are we doing, Jalen? Good, you got it. We are comparing when we're looking for something that's the same. What do we call it when we're looking for something that's different? Something different, Reese. We're contrasting. Let's do a little exercise of comparing and contrasting, just like we have with our geometric solids this morning, when we looked at what was the same and what was different. In this poem, how many lines are in each poem? How many lines are in each poem? Avery, what do you think? She says 5, and she is right. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. And it's the same for the poem on this side. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of the poems has 5 lines. Now, let's go a little deeper. What do you notice about the words in the first line? What do you notice about the words in the first line? Everybody's thinking. Thinking, 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 thinking. Logan? Logan's made a connection. He says, hey, those are the words that have the pictures. He said spaghetti, well, that word had a picture up for it. And he said